Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Eric Dziuban, team lead of the Children's Preparedness Unit at CDC. I also serve as a liaison for the American Academy of Pediatrics Disaster Preparedness Advisory Committee. This will be a rapid overview of children's needs within the context of public health emergency preparedness. Let me introduce you to what our small team does. Children's Preparedness Unit is the only group at CDC that is purely focused on the specific needs of children in public health emergencies. We champion those needs through preparedness and response efforts by integrating children's concerns into public health planning at the federal, state, and local levels. These 4 pillars are our main channels of activity that we use to accomplish our mission: building an evidence base, increasing awareness, offering technical assistance, and developing partnerships. Children's Preparedness Unit has an overarching goal of improving children's preparedness efforts domestically, as well as 3 supporting strategies to guide its activities. First, linkages among public health, pediatricians, children's hospitals, and other stakeholders will be fostered and sustained. Second, the need for timely, accurate, and comprehensive data and recommendations on the care, treatment, and involvement of children in public health emergencies will continue to be emphasized. And third, pre-planning for upcoming events will include reviewing lessons learned, developing strategic communications, and reviewing gaps in preparedness for known threats. Our team sits in CDC's National Center on Birth Defects and Developmental Disabilities, but we receive funding from the Office of Public Health Preparedness and Response, where the bulk of CDC's emergency preparedness activities take place. Within our center, we're in the Division of Human Development and Disability, which has a number of primary programs, including children's preparedness. I show this to you to highlight how we are situated among many pediatric experts, especially in the arena of child development. In 2016, the 2 largest emergency responses in which we participated, Zika virus and water contamination in Flint, Michigan, both were centered on threats to children's development, and these connections and resources proved indispensable. For large CDC emergency responses, the Children's Preparedness Unit becomes activated as the children's health team for that response. Here you can see a timeline of recent activations where this has occurred. On the right, you can see some examples of the content area we often manage within the children's health team. These include pediatric medical countermeasures, liaising with partners such as AAP, children's hospitals, and other child-focused organizations, children's mental health, parental presence in the context of contagious pathogens requiring isolation or quarantine, breastfeeding and transmission of pathogens, toxins, or radioactive elements, pediatric case investigations, infant diagnostic guidelines, and finally, public communication materials, such as pediatric frequently asked questions. We consider all of these focused pediatric efforts necessary because children have unique needs during an emergency, which can make them highly vulnerable in times of disaster. They have specific physiology, anatomy, and developmental characteristics, and younger children in particular are partially or fully dependent on adults. Providers more accustomed to adult patients may not be prepared to handle large numbers of children in an outbreak or disaster setting, and both pediatric and non-pediatric resources can become overwhelmed quickly with an influx or surge of children. This graphic captures many of the characteristics of young children that give them unique vulnerabilities in public health emergencies. Physically, they have a smaller size and physiologic differences, such as higher respiratory and metabolic rates. Developmentally, they have different physical activity patterns, such as time spent with their hands in their mouths, and less ability to articulate their needs or symptoms. Not shown here are social issues, such as dependence on caregivers who may also be susceptible to the same health threats. And school-aged children have more person-to-person social contact on a daily basis than younger children or adults, increasing their risk of pathogen transmission. Medical countermeasures, or MCMs, are products that can be used in public health emergencies stemming from a terrorist attack, an infectious disease outbreak, or a natural disaster. MCMs can be biologic products such as vaccines, blood products, or antibodies, drugs such as antibiotics, and equipment such as gloves, respirators, and ventilators. Children's weight-based dosing may require different formulations in the Strategic National Stockpile, different dispensing guidance for public health departments, and different guidance for the public. Testing MCMs on children also has serious ethical considerations. Many MCMs are not FDA approved for children and must be administered under alternate regulatory mechanisms. There are systematic challenges associated with pediatric MCMs. Starting in triage, children will have a different range of normal vital signs, and adult-based triage tools may be inaccurate when used for small children. Medications used in emergency responses, such as doxycycline or ciprofloxacin for anthrax inhalation, anti-neutropenics for radiation exposure, or atropine autoinjectors for chemical exposures, have different considerations for children. These include calculating weight-based dosing in a potentially chaotic setting and different formulations with possibly limited availability within stockpiles. These differences could require specific dispensing and administration guidance from the public health sector. As an example, the step-by-step guidance on the right goes through the correct process for weight-based dosing of doxycycline for children. Finally, equipment needs will include pediatric sizes for both durable and single-use materials, such as oxygen masks, catheters, and tubing equipment. Devices based on adult sizes and setting may not work for children. I hope this has been a helpful overview of the importance of including children's needs in every stage of public health emergency preparedness and response. Preparedness efforts for children, developed before an emergency occurs, are critical because there will be child-specific challenges for clinical management to consider. Bringing together public health professionals engaged in preparedness planning and leaders in the pediatric sector can help states and local communities address these issues while there is still time in order to protect our most precious resource.